It's no longer granular. It's no longer disaggregated. It's no longer atomistic. It exists in a kind of a molecular form, if you like. The individual data are joined together to form a larger pattern of understanding. It could, certainly in terms of its substance quality, it could still be relatively fluid or relatively hard. There's no necessarily hard or soft status for information. In fact, we do talk about hard information and soft information. It's a product of its form. And certain information can act quite fluidly. Not quite sure how to go with that one. It's probably something to do with its permanence. Information transforms into knowledge, or when information is considered as knowledge, again within the DIKW model, is when it becomes internalized. And here I think what's happening covertly here, even in the language that I'm using, is there's a sense in which the data is coming closer to the body, or the body is becoming closer to the data. And one explores data, one is going out into the field, collecting the data into kind of databases, into knowledge structures and forms, and that knowledge is kind of internalized, almost as if you're gathering the data in your hands, pressing it into the shape of a piece of information, and then allowing that information to inform you, and you are informed by it. So information and knowledge, or the transformation from information to knowledge, is something that requires very clearly human engagement, I think. But knowledge itself can also be quite slippery and fluid. So while we're still on the subject of substances, knowledge, it isn't simply aggregated, it's structured. But that structure might be a fluid structure, or might be a hard structure. So that element within the DIKW model, the knowledge aspect of it, is probably the most complex, because it does cover that spectrum of ontology and epistemology, which lies right up close to the senses, and covers a wide range of metaphorical substantive qualities. When it gets to wisdom, and some of the literature doesn't even include wisdom, particularly within knowledge management, within industries, I guess because it's not terribly useful, need to be terribly useful. When it becomes wisdom, it's almost entirely dispositional. It would be it's an understanding of a wide range of principles which underlie data and the gathering of data. It might be an understanding of wide knowledge of the context in which data seem to appear. It might not involve, for example, the immersion within a particular data gathering or data organization paradigm. The ability to see data from a lot of different angles, have an overview, but also to intuitively engage with that data and that information and that knowledge, so one is able to make highly informed choices. So the distinction there might be between knowledge and wisdom is that in knowledge terms, having the data sets about the rainfall and having the information derived from those data sets in the form of a graph, that would be information. Having knowledge would allow one to, for example, predict whether it's a good idea to book a holiday in Manchester in March or not. Wisdom would also be able to see that data, that information, and that knowledge in a range of different contexts. So, for example, would be able to see the rainfall in Manchester as a contributing factor to its establishment as a cotton town. Damp climates are conducive, or were conducive in the Industrial Revolution, the cotton industry. Rainfall might be important in terms of an understanding of the paintings of L.S. Lowry. It might even inform something to do with how, for example, the Manchester music scene developed. If you look at the attitudes of bands like The Fall, or more recent bands from Manchester, there's a kind of pursed, hunched, gritty quality that comes across in the music, which I think can only be produced by a bunch of guys walking down Oxford Road on a Saturday night with their collars turned up against the rain, being fairly taciturn and